What up, everybody? On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the big fail that is MTV trying to bring back TRL. You ready? Here we go.
Up there and simple.
Yeah. I'm back. We back. What's up? I'm back. I'm back. Alright, now I'm done. I'll just play. Alright, what up, everybody? It's your boy Bright here, the R&B kid, and you're tuned into another episode of On the Bright Side. So if this is your first time on my channel, please like this video, press that like button, go ahead and press it right there. Please share this video, and please subscribe to my channel, alright? On this channel, I talk all things music and entertainment, while always keeping things positive and finding the bright side of everything. Alrighty, guys, so MTV just recently brought back TRL. For those of you who don't know what TRL is, TRL stands for Total Request Live, and that was a show that debuted back in the late 90s, I believe 1998, on MTV, and it debuted as a music video countdown show. So pretty much MTV started out as kind of just a channel where they had music videos, you know, as their programming kind of running all day long, but it never really had any structure. And then when TRL came around the 90s, it kind of gave MTV a major format to kind of highlight mainstream music videos, have artists on for interviews, kind of give exclusives, and it was a cool way to have fans interact with artists on a performance format, and just, you know, really getting the biggest music videos out in the world on that channel for the few hours that they'd be on the air. During when they would have TRL on the air. So like I said, it was pretty much based as a music video countdown show. Pretty much, I in my opinion, TRL was one of the most successful you know, ideas, and it was one of the most successful shows of its era back in the day, in the late 90s and the early to mid 2000s, and it pretty much fizzled out around 2007, 2008. That's when they dropped it, because pretty much music videos have really changed from being a really important vehicle to push music to kind of just an add-on in the music industry. So when music videos didn't really have the budgets that they once held, and when music videos really weren't as dynamic as they used to be, and when they weren't the focus of album and, you know, album campaigns, and just, you know, when music videos were no longer the biggest, one of the biggest formats of pushing an artist's album and their product, MTV unfortunately had to let go of TRL, and they had to kind of let it fall by the wayside. But recently they brought back TRL. I don't know if most of you guys know. I'm assuming maybe you don't know, because at the end of the day, they did a horrible job of promoting it, and I don't even think most people really commit to watching TV like that anyways, to the point where they probably know that you know, TRL came back on MTV. But I only know that because I follow music blogs a lot, so I read about it, and I caught a few of the clips of the, you know, the first few episodes that they've been having. But I'm just here to pretty much say that TRL coming back right now is a big ass fail. It's a fail, and this is why. Yo, MTV, this is a big fail. I'm letting you guys know this right now. TRL is a big fail, and I'm gonna break down why. TRL was such an important part of culture, an important part of music back in the day, and to be honest, it opened the floodgates for 106 & Park. I miss 106 & Park so much. 106 & Park was pretty much the black TRL when I was a kid. Pretty much, it had the same format as TRL, a music video countdown, but it was on BET, and it was more towards the evening hours instead of the afternoon hours. But 106 & Park was such an important part of the culture for black music when I was a kid, back in the early 2000s, the mid 2000s, and you know, like I said, MTV really paved the way for 106 & Park to be created, and for it to have done what it did itself. And both of those shows in their own ways, I miss them so much. Both of those shows in their own ways were amazing ideas, and they were formatted in an amazing way. But also those shows were on at a time when they were needed and when they were able to be utilized. Back in the day, music videos were really a major platform for an artist to get creative with their product and to get creative with you know, video ideas, who they worked with, and pretty much what the video was about and how they get it out to the public. Music videos had way higher budgets. They had much more creativity being put into them. You know, back in the when MTV started, when TRL started back in the 90s and the 2000s, that's pretty much what music videos were dealing with back in the day. It was a whole different landscape for music videos. There was much more of a need for them, and they were much more creative. And at the end of the day, TRL and 106 & Park worked because back in the day, people would actually be able to call up and say, hey, I want to request this video. I want to request this artist because I love them and I really want this video to be on the countdown for today because I want the whole world to see it. People would actually take the time back in the day to actually call up and text the different codes to actually get videos requested on TRL and on 106 & Park. Because that's how culture worked. There was no such thing as an iPhone before the year like 2007, I think. So there was no such thing as smartphones, and people really just had regular phones, and people really watched TV more often, to the point where it made sense to have a daily show where the focus was really premiering music videos and just airing the biggest music videos out, you know. But the reason why I say TRL is a big fail now is because there's no need for it. And I say that because if you follow music, if you're a music head, if you just obviously are involved in the culture of what's going on with entertainment today, you know that while music videos are still being produced, they're still being made, and even they're even being produced at a higher rate than they were back when I was younger in the 90s and in the 2000s. At the end of the day, the budgets for music videos are way lower, and I wouldn't necessarily say the creativity, but I want to say music videos I think are just as creative as they used to be back in the day, but music videos are no longer the focus of album campaigns and really an artist promoting their product. A lot of times, I mean, when I'm hanging out with my friends, we don't really talk about music videos like that. I feel like people used to really talk about music videos, you know, in a major way back in the day, but people don't talk about music videos anymore. It's not really a point of conversation. A lot of people, especially older adults, aren't really on YouTube looking at music videos all the time, and that's really how most people really consume music videos, is through YouTube or you know, through other video sites. But at the end of the day, if you're not online looking for your favorite artists' music videos, or if you're not online and you happen to come across a music video, most likely you're not going to see that music video. And so for that reason, that's why budgets have depleted for music videos, and there was no longer a need for TRL because people weren't invested in like waiting for a new video to come out and looking at it and talking about it and soaking it up. People kind of just see a music video these days, and it is what it is, and it's cool, and that's it. Like, you know, so MTV trying to bring back TRL, I think, was a major fail because of just simply for the fact that the format of the show is no longer necessary and it's no longer wanted by the public on a major scale. Okay guys, so honestly, on the bright side, even though MTV really has a big fail on their hands with trying to bring back TRL, I think they have something in their arsenal which I think is a brilliant idea, which is the show called Wonderland. So for those of you who might not know what the show Wonderland is, that was a show that premiered on MTV, I believe, last fall, in the fall of 2016. It premiered as a show based around having about 2 or 3 artists come on every episode to perform live, perform their latest content and just, you know, promote themselves. And that premise sounds basic and simple enough, but I think it was brilliant. If you kind of look at the ratings for that show, and if you really look at I think just culture in general, that show wasn't promoted at all. People don't really talk about it, and I don't really think it was remembered like that. But I remember when it came out last fall, and I was really excited for it because I thought it was a brilliant idea, but just executed in the wrong way. So what I say by that is, you know, in today's culture, people love live performance like none other. Like people have always loved live performance, obviously, in music, but these days people don't buy albums, they don't buy music, people don't go to record stores. One of the biggest ways to consume music is live performance and touring. So every artist is on tour these days when they put out an album, and that's what they do. But on top of besides that, artists these days have very few mediums to really promote their work on TV. And I think that's a really sad thing, because in my opinion, I really think that Wonderland needs to be the new TRL. And I say that because TRL is a really old show and it's a completely dead idea. The name is called Total Request Live. It was all about people calling up and testing up MTV, so they could have their favorite videos premiered on the show for the day. But at the end of the day, no one's requesting music videos anymore. No one's doing that. The new TRL doesn't have that format in itself anyways. So having that old title and just revamping it with this new show doesn't make any type of sense. It doesn't make sense for TRL to come back with the same title even though it's not the same show. I think they just need to let TRL go, dead it. It was an iconic, amazing show. So was Wonder Season Park. But, they need to dead that idea, and they need to just focus on new ideas. And so that's why I say Wonderland needs to be the new TRL. MTV is giving me the impression that they're letting go of Wonderland, which I think is the wrong thing to do. I think they need to focus on the show Wonderland. Go look it up if you haven't checked it out. They need to focus on the show Wonderland, but they need to revamp the way they execute the show so it makes sense for today's culture and so people are actually invested in it. So here's what I think. Here's some of the changes that I think they need to create to make Wonderland make sense and to pretty much make it the new TRL, if that makes sense. Okay. I think it would be best to do Wonderland as a weekly series, because to me, I would kind of see it as a musical version of Saturday Night Live. Something that people always look forward to every week, every weekend, and they don't have to be worried about tuning in every night or every day. They just tune into it once a week, and it's something that they can look forward to. I think, to me, how SNL is at night, I think that would be something cool for Wonderland to be. I think it would be cool to have Wonderland on maybe like Friday nights or Saturday nights, and they kind of keep it the way they did with having 2 or 3 artists who are headlining the episode. And they focus on having those 2 or 3 artists perform for that hour of the show, or however long it's going to be, whether it's an hour and a half, 2 hours. But I think the best time slot for that show would be an hour. Have 2 or 3 artists perform for that episode, and then fill the rest of the time of the episode, besides advertisements, with an interview with the artists, behind the scenes content, exclusives, little different news pieces. I think that would really be the best way for MTV to kind of bring back TRL, but without having the name TRL, and while having it be a new show with a whole new revamped and refreshing format. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so kind of like I touched on before a little bit, Wonderland really was focused on having pretty much a stage design as the main part of the show. The show opened up. I remember that I actually watched the first episode, which I think had Tinashe on it, and I think 2 other artists, but I forgot who they were. But the show opened up, and you kind of just went into this like dark studio room that looked like it kind of looked like the inside of a stadium. For where an artist would be performing. So Tinashe kind of came through the crowd, and you saw all these people, and it looked lit because it was dark, but people were like, really going crazy when Tinashe came through, and she went through the crowd and she went on the stage and started performing. And even though you could tell it was a small studio, the way they edited it, it really looked big and looked like she was performing on tour. So I think that would be the best thing for MTV to do, is to really keep the stage, have a signature stage design for the show called Wonderland, and have artists just perform on that stage and make it look like they're on tour, but it's really just a weekly episode of them performing for the show Wonderland. I think that would be the best thing for MTV to do, and I think no more than 2 or 3 artists is a great way to have that show formatted. And they should really make it look like it's almost make it look like you're having inside access to a tour. I feel like that's the way people like to consume music these days. So why not kind of replicate that same feeling on TV? instead of focusing on having like live outdoor performances in Times Square, I feel like that kind of gets played out after a while. Just focus on really having the main part of the show for Wonderland really be just that inside studio where you really can feel up close and personal with that artist, even though you're actually watching on TV, and have people in the studio so it looks like it's a really big tour, you know, a really big performance, and so you feel like you're a part of it. I think having the show focus on music videos or just kind of going back to that time period is not a good thing to do. MTV needs to let that go, and they need to just focus on really getting artists who don't really have a usual platform to perform the material a stage. You know, at the end of the day, if MTV were to be able to have this show once a week, at the end of the day, there will be so many artists that will be able to come through and just perform every week, you know? Imagine having an artist you love who like nobody knows about, but you know, because MTV has a slot open for a week, your favorite artist who nobody knows about, they're able to come through and perform songs that you love that no one's heard before. I just think, in my head, I imagine it being such a great idea. MTV, if you guys are going to take this idea, pay me my coin. Don't play me. Pay me, because this is a brilliant idea. If it's not a brilliant idea, whatever, I take the L. But in my head, this is a brilliant idea. MTV really just needs to have Wonderland on once a week, on a Friday or Saturday night, like SNL. Have 2 or 3 artists performing, headlining that episode. They all go one after the other. And then in between their performances, you're having interviews with the artists, certain behind the scenes content, exclusives about their new song that's out, or their new album that's coming out, or their new tour, or something like that. Just show exclusives and behind the scenes content. And on top of that, it will be such a great plug and such a great way for up and coming artists, or you know, underground or independent artists, to have a worldly stage to perform on. You know, I think there's so many artists these days that are just not getting the stage, and they're not getting the opportunity to really perform like they should, because of just how how cluttered the industry has become, and because of how stuffed it's become. There's so many artists trying to promote their stuff, and there's so few mediums these days for everyone to promote their stuff. But I feel like if you really bring back a weekly show where you get not one artist to headline the whole show, but maybe 2 or 3, you know, to really headline one episode, and just get them to get together and perform, and give artists who don't have the biggest, you know, platforms to promote their material a platform, a plausible platform. So I think that's just the best thing to do. Instead of trying to bring TRL back, just have Wonderland be the new It show. Wonderland can be the new It show. They just need to promote it right. They need to make it a weekly thing, so you're not getting bombarded by it being a daily show, and you're also not forgetting about it because it's only a special that comes on once in a while. It needs to be a weekly show, so it's in your life on a regular basis, and so you remember it, so you're ready for it every weekend. And if you're out partying or doing whatever, you're having fun for the weekend, you're having fun for the weekend. But if you're at home just chilling by yourself, put on some Wonderland and watch your favorite, you know, your favorite artists or artists you might not know about, who you probably will end up loving, perform their material. And then in between performances on their studio stage, have, you know, behind the scenes content, exclusives, you know, show them on tour, promote their new single or their new album, just all types of stuff. There's so much stuff you can do with the show like TRL in 2017. You know, music and the whole music industry and the way things are being promoted is so dynamic now that I really feel like MTV can get creative with the Wonderland show. But I feel like they're letting it go right now. But I really feel like they need to bring it back and just restructure it and really refresh it and bring it back in a really cool and engaging way. Okay, my last thing about TRL is that they need perfect hosts. I'm gonna say it again. They need perfect hosts. I watched a clip. Like yesterday of, like, I think Cassie was on the show, and I watched a clip where she was being interviewed, and it was a dude and a it was a guy and a girl interviewing Cassie, and the girl was cool. She had personality. She was connecting with Cassie while also like having chemistry with the camera. This is national TV. But the guy was just so awkward. You could tell he was like reading the cue cards. He was like reading the teleprompter. He wasn't even looking at Cassie. He was like, "Oh yeah, so Cassie, yeah, so your new album." I'm like, bro, like, you're on national television. Like, you need to be like, you need to let loose, be calm, be natural, interact with the artist, and also learn how to interact with the camera. Like, they need to have perfect hosts. There's so many media personalities out here to choose from. Take the pick of the litter. There's no reason why TRL should have came back with whack ass, weak ass hosts. DC Young Fly was cool. He was one of the main people they brought to host the new revamp of the show. He was cool, but he wasn't that great. And the other hosts that they had, that at least from the clips that I saw, they were whack. Like, you need to have people that are just fly, engaging, not boring, and they just have a magnetic personality. Because honestly, at the end of the day, quiet as it's kept, a host is one of the most important parts of a show like TRL, or what Wonderland, which is what I want TRL to be now. They just need to get the perfect host for the show Wonderland, and it can be a success. Because when you get an engaging host, people have even more of a reason to tune in, and especially when you get a familiar face, someone who people know all over the world, and for good reason. It's a good thing to do. So I think they need to stray away from getting new faces, or if you're gonna get a new face, make sure that person is ready to go and they're lit. But if you're not gonna get a new face, go with people who are established, people who are known all around the world, for being, just people who are big personalities in Hollywood. There's plenty to choose from. But if they can really get perfect hosts, that'll also be one of the biggest changes that I think MTV could bring to Wonderland, or I guess TRL, to make it much bigger and better in 2017. So yeah, they just need to get perfect hosts. Alrighty guys, so that was my video about why I think MTV bringing back TRL is a major fail. Let me know what you thought about this video down in the comment section. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know if you think MTV bringing back TRL is a good idea. If you think it's whack like me, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts, alright? So please like this video, click that like button, share this video, and go ahead and subscribe to my channel, alright? Please guys, in these times we're living in, continue to live your best life, drink more water, stay woke, and if you're mad, go listen to your favorite song, alright? Alright y'all, this has been your boy Bright, the R&B Kid, and I am signing off.